Hey everybody, you know me. It's Paul with Washington Pro Carpet Cleaning. Hope everyone's doing well. Today I've got about 11 of these 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom units for an account that I have, and this is the good time of season to have these type of accounts when it kind of gets a little slow, gets closer to holidays and whatnot. You'll have people that will slow down on their cleaning services. I do have a lot of pre-books for people that are getting ready for the holidays, meaning that maybe mother-in-law's coming or father-in-law or whoever. Usually it's the mother-in-law's coming, and the wife wants to make sure the house looks good so that, when they show up for Christmas, they don't hear all the negative stuff. So I'll get out and clean those up. But for today, I'm probably going to spend the majority of the day just going up and down the elevators and hitting these. I'll spare you the time watching me do over and over. I just picked one of these. And again, these carpets, usually when I show up 9 times out of 10, they're almost clean. But check this out. The maid left her stuff up here for this particular complex. She's using a Pro Team. Looks like a really good vacuum. Anybody familiar with that? It almost looks like a workhorse with the extended side on it, and then you can see it's got the huge hose on there and everything, the top button, and then it's got a 12 gauge cord, probably a 50-foot. I was tempted to try it out, but I could hear the maids in the next unit by me, and I'm sure they were going to come back and clean the next one I'm going to do. And what do you know, just after talking about the Oric in my video yesterday, or my last video, I'm not sure if it was yesterday, here you go. This is where the Oric is just priceless, indispensable. When you come into these units, they're by their company or corporate policy, they're required to have these professionally steam cleaned. Not the tenant, but the property manager. And so a lot of times I'll go in behind somebody who's already cleaned the carpets. And they are allowed to self-clean. Sometimes I go in the self-cleaned units and so much bubbles and crap. I have to mix up a little citric acid, about 8 ounces of powdered citric acid, in a 2-gallon sprayer, and I'll just spray that and neutralize it, and they come out absolutely beautiful. But this is a case where, like I said, the Oric Orbiter couldn't be any better for a job like this. And I'm using the Zinger pads, which is a microfiber pad with red scrubbing strips. These pads have an extra thick sponge between them for moisture absorption. So they are cleaning very well. And in some of my past videos, I show you where I use the bigger machine. I'll put a 17-inch Zinger on there, or an 18-inch Zinger pad. And I'll go from the doorway all the way to the furthest point, flip the pad over and come back, and it cleans beautifully. One of my jobs before this one, early this morning, too much commotion going on, kids and animals, and it was just funny. I had friends amongst me. The kids loved me, and their dog loved me, so I couldn't film as they wanted to be around me, but I discovered something amazing, and I asked Damon about it at the end cap store. I decided on the house I was doing, it was pretty soiled, so I thought, what I think I'll do is I'll reverse my process, and I'll use, because sometimes I'll go in, I'll microfiber it, and then I'll follow with a cotton pad or an Iron Man pad, 100% cotton. And this time, I sprayed it, and what I did was I sprayed it extra heavy because it was pretty soiled. And so I decided I would go in and I would use the Iron Man. I was thinking I was just going to use straight Iron Man. So I used an Iron Man. I went all the way in to the furthest point, flipped the pad over. Sure enough, it was coming through the pad, but I thought, okay, I'll come back through just for a little more absorption and cleaning. Got all the way back to the door, and the carpet was still, I laid my hand on it, it was still pretty damp because it was really soiled, and I needed to saturate it pretty good in order to lift out as much of the soil as I could. So I grabbed the 18-inch Zinger pad, and I started from the doorway and worked my way back, flipped it over and worked my way back out. Now, granted, the microfiber's not picking up as much soil, but it is definitely picking up the moisture with that sponge that's in between the pad. So I don't know if any of my carpet cleaning followers out there have reversed it, because they all, at least as far as I know, I'm still only a year and a half into the VLM, being an old-time steam cleaner. So you guys might laugh at me and go, oh yeah, we figured this out years ago. But to me, it was a new process. Nobody recommended it. So, and I imagine you could go through pre-spray, vacuum, pre-spray, use a cotton pad and absorb all the soil, and then just any microfiber pad, with the sponge in it, just go through after the cotton pad and absorb the moisture. And I mean, I couldn't believe, with people living there and everything, I was considering breaking out my air pod, my air mover, and dry the carpet so that, they'd be completely dry since the family was living on it. And to my surprise, it was almost dry to the touch as I exited the room with the microfiber pad. So chime in if you're familiar with that, because most people would say, use the microfiber first to scrub and then follow with a cotton pad to absorb. But the reverse actually took place. The cotton pad absorbed the soil while it was in suspense, where I pre-sprayed it heavier, and then the microfiber picked up the remaining moisture. And I mean, the carpets looked absolutely amazing. It just, I only had that job, and then I have these about 10, I think it's 10 or 11 units here, but I've showed these units before. There's nothing miraculous about these units, other than I get to use my auric, which I love. But so I originally planned on filming that first job of the day, and there was just no way. It's a fun experience, though. I kind of had to let the mother know that, it would probably be beneficial if she kept the kids and the animals in the other rooms, because she had just beautiful little kids, and one of them reminded me, excuse me, of my own grandson, little blonde curly-haired kid, and he just had all the questions, and I mean, he thought that Superman had arrived. And the machine, he wanted to sit on it and ride on it, and I was, oh my gosh, just unbelievable. Really funny, though. So it made for an enjoyable morning. And then I always keep a few, I get a box of dog biscuits, or the little dog treats, I don't know, from Walmart. And they're not that expensive, but I try to get something that's, all natural, so that there are some dogs that can't have particular stuff. So, and I always ask, but anyway, I went out to the van and I grabbed 2 or 3 treats, and I came in to give the dogs treats. And I guess I'm going to have to start packing some candy or something, because the little boy that reminded me of my grandson, I gave the dogs treats, and he put his hand out. He wanted one. I'm like, nah, even though his mom wasn't watching, I'm like, nah, They're probably safe enough to eat, but I wasn't about to give him one. He got upset with me. He couldn't understand why he couldn't have one, and his dogs were able to have him, but just absolutely hilarious. He must have been about, he couldn't have been more than 3 years old. So, anyway. But like I said, the Oryx comes in. I mean, there's times when the Oryx is the go-to tool. I'm going to keep it on my truck at all times. For those of you that watch my channel, you know I have two of them anyway. I have the white and blue one and this one. You can see I took the drink holder off of it, which I was putting the bottle of, what do you call it? Not pre-spray, but bottle of spotter on there, and it was just shaking loose and didn't work well. So I just set that somewhere behind me or hanging on my pocket. And it's actually funny. I remembered watching a video. I think it was my friend there, Robin, with Oxy-Dry. If you haven't subscribed to Robin's channel, pull up Oxy-Dry. I think it's OXI, Oxy-Dry. Robin's out in Canada, and he is just a wealth of knowledge. I'm so surprised, some of the channels I follow that don't have a big subscriber base, it just amazes me. You guys are missing out on some information. So anyway, but I picked up an idea from Oxy-Dry. He does a rotary, and he was fortunate enough, they don't sell his rotaries anymore, but his rotary is probably, I can't remember if it's 70, 80 pounds. I know it's not 100 like mine. So he's able to get it upstairs. He's got the modded wheels on it and a LED light kit. It's just incredible. It's awesome. Check him out. He's been doing some vacuuming videos lately with his workhorse, and his buddy Roger, he's hysterical too. So anyway, what I'm getting at here was where I say that little bottle that I was using for spotting, I would put on that drink holder attached to my Oryx. And the only reason I did that was because when I hung it on my pocket, as I got through the rooms, it would actually be banging against my pocket, and it actually opened up one time and it just dropped to the ground, and I spilled. I think I just had straight ClO2 in it, and I spilt it all over the carpet, and just kind of, it's upsetting when that happens. Now you got to clean up and blot it up or bring the shop back in. But Oxy-Dry, Robin, in one of his videos, I hope I'm giving the right guy credit. The two that I get a lot of information from is the Green Rhino, Tommy, and Oxy-Dry, Robin. But I think it was Oxy-Dry who said, get an O-ring, that's the size of those little Zepp 16 or 32 ounce spray bottles, and put the O-ring in the cap and then screw it on. And, when you get to the O-ring, you have to kind of twist a little hard, and that collapses the O-ring and seals the bottle really well. But you're not trying to seal the bottle. What you're trying to do is prevent it from unwinding and falling off like mine did. So that's what I did. I got an O-ring. I put it on the top of the bottle, and man, I tell you what, I could stick it in my back pocket, front pocket, belt. It didn't matter. It didn't unscrew, and when I was spraying it, it didn't loosen up or anything. So props and shout out to Robin. Like I said, check it out. Good channel, Oxy-Dry, the Green Rhino, All American Mac, and I can't remember the other guy. He sometimes does some mighty stuff, and he's the guy with the glasses, and oh my goodness, what is it? Oh, the Carpet Professor, I think. I can't remember his name, but he has some good quality stuff as well. And of course, there's a lot more. I do watch Advanced Cleaning, Miles, and occasionally I'll watch Truman Steamers. But For the most part, my go-tos are the ones that I have the bell notifications on. It's probably going to be the green rhino and robin, so I can see what's going on. So anyway, check those channels out. They fit perfectly in the same realm of information as mine. And of course, the All-American Mac, he's hilarious. I mean, him and his son. I used to work with my son, so I feel a close connection to him and his son. And when they do those food videos or the challenges, the hot stuff, oh my gosh, I'll watch those videos 7-8 times over and over and just laugh. My wife's like, "Are you watching that again?" I can pull it up on my 50-inch TV. So anyway, shout out to those guys. Check out their channels. Awesome stuff. And of course, my community and my subscribers, man, I love you guys. I get so much good feedback and information. And I just love to get all that information. And if it improves the method that I'm doing, then definitely. And if it's helpful, and most people are kind. They don't say anything rude or derogatory. I'm not the end-all, know-all carpet cleaning guy. I try to share what knowledge I have of the business with some of the newer people. So, keep it clean, and we can both grow. I'm always growing. I think it was Walter who mentioned on one of my last videos that he uses a CRB and then follows with a Orbot Orbiter, and he's 65 years old. So he's 11 years older than me, and still trucking, and that's inspiring. I love that. You gotta you gotta enjoy what you do, and if you enjoy what you do, you gotta figure out how to keep doing it. That's the bottom line. So anyway, this video's coming to an end here. You could see Orbot Orbiter. These carpets will completely bubble up. I've had to tell the owners, they know, the maintenance guy knows, they're not glued down, so the moisture causes them to ripple, and then when it dries, they go flat. There's the buggy. Simple process. Go make that money. If you guys haven't already subscribed, and girls, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you in our little carpet cleaning community. And for now, I'll see you in the next episode.